They told you abundance was something to chase, but the ancients knew abundance is something you become. Long before the word prosperity was even spoken, the priest-scientists of Atlantis and Egypt guarded a secret they called the golden frequency, a living current of energy that connects wealth, vitality, and spiritual ascension into one field of consciousness. They said this frequency wasn't just symbolic, it was measurable, magnetic, and encoded directly into the DNA of the light body. When awakened, it turned the human being into a transmitter of divine intelligence, a living temple of manifestation. To them, gold was never a possession. It was condensed sunlight, the physical echo of Ra's eternal light, vibrating at the same resonance as the higher mind. Every temple, every ritual, every sacred chant was built to remind humanity of this truth. The true alchemy of abundance is internal coherence. In Atlantean science, prosperity was not achieved through effort. It was the automatic reflection of harmony. When your energy, emotion, and thought vibrate in unity, reality organizes itself around your coherence. This is the universal law of resonance, the same law that governs galaxies, magnetism, and the invisible architecture of creation. In Egypt, initiates of Isis and Thoth practiced the art of transforming vibration into matter. They aligned their breath with solar geometry, allowing divine energy to flow through their magnetic field, nourishing the body and illuminating the mind. They believed that the energy of abundance was not given, it was remembered, and that is the secret modern humanity forgot. We separated spiritual power from material creation, light from body, prayer from purpose. But the ancients whispered a different truth through stone and symbol. When your frequency mirrors the harmony of the universe, gold flows toward you as effortlessly as light moves through space. The prosperity code is not a formula of acquisition, it's a state of alignment, a remembrance of your original design as a being of radiant energy, perfectly attuned to the field of divine intelligence. This is why Thoth said, "The one who remembers the light becomes the source of all creation." The question is not how to attract wealth, but how to remember the vibration that wealth already serves, because the true currency of the universe is coherence. And the moment your soul returns to the golden frequency, everything, health, love, vitality, abundance, begins to rearrange itself around you. The golden law was never lost. It was only waiting for you to vibrate high enough to hear it again. Chapter 1. The Atlantean Formula. In the luminous civilization of Atlantis, prosperity was not a goal, it was a natural consequence of alignment. The Atlantean masters understood that the universe is built on frequency, and that abundance is the most natural vibration of a coherent soul. They called this secret the Atlantean Formula, the ancient prosperity code that united science, spirituality, and divine geometry into one field of creation. Every temple, every crystal chamber, every golden symbol carved in stone existed to remind humanity that matter obeys energy, and energy obeys consciousness. The Atlanteans didn't accumulate, they emanated. Their wealth was vibrational, their currency was coherence, and their power came from remembrance. You do not attract abundance, you resonate it. They trained within the temples of Ra and Thoth, where light, sound, and breath were used to activate the dormant codes of the light body, the crystalline matrix surrounding the physical form. When the DNA vibrated in harmony with divine intelligence, the human being became a living portal of manifestation, an anchor of golden frequency. They believed that every thought, every feeling, every breath sent ripples through the quantum energy field, sculpting reality in real time. Through breathwork, chant, and solar geometry, initiates awakened the golden current, a radiant stream of cosmic energy that ascended through the spine like liquid light, fusing body and soul into one resonant instrument. This was not metaphor. It was energy alchemy, the science of transforming vibration into form, emotion into magnetism, consciousness into gold. The Atlantean Formula taught that wealth, vitality, and spiritual power are not separate forces but different frequencies of the same universal law of abundance. When the heart is light, when intention is pure, when emotion vibrates in gratitude, the magnetic field of the body synchronizes with the cosmic grid. Reality bends toward coherence. Opportunities align like constellations. Energy flows without resistance. This is vibrational wealth, abundance as a state of being. The masters often spoke of the golden heart, a center within the chest where divine light and human desire merge into one current. When activated, it emits a luminous field that reorganizes energy around it. The magnetic law of Ra, the solar principle of creation through radiant giving, to radiate rather than seek, to emit rather than crave. This was the essence of Atlantean prosperity. They also knew that the higher self functions as a mirror of the cosmos. To awaken the golden current within is to remember that the source energy flowing through galaxies is the same energy flowing through your veins. In that realization, separation dissolves. You become both creator and creation, both the frequency and the form. The temples of Thoth preserved these teachings in crystalline archives of sound and light, encoded with sacred harmonics that could reprogram human DNA. Every tone, every symbol, every vibration was designed to reactivate the divine blueprint, the original pattern of abundance and perfect equilibrium within the soul. This was the true alchemy of Atlantis. To master vibration is to master destiny. To remember coherence is to command reality. To live in the golden frequency is to awaken the light body, and to become the very channel through which divine intelligence manifests into the world, because prosperity is not an outcome, it is an emanation. A luminous field radiating from the harmony between your mind, heart, and spirit, a harmony that the ancients called the Law of Gold. You are not meant to chase abundance. You are meant to remember you are its source. Chapter 2. The Egyptian Alchemy of Energy. When Atlantis fell beneath the waters, its knowledge did not vanish. It migrated. Guided by the Keepers of Light, the Atlantean science of frequency was carried across the oceans into the sands of ancient Egypt, where it became the foundation of a new civilization built on energy, consciousness, and light. The Egyptians did not see the body as flesh alone. They saw it as a sacred laboratory, a temple where solar energy, breath, and sound could transform the invisible into the visible. They called this process alchem, the origin of the word alchemy, the divine art of merging spirit and matter, light and form, heaven and earth. The golden metal that glowed in their temples was not merely wealth, it was solidified sunlight, the physical echo of the frequency of Ra, the living consciousness of the sun. Ra was not worshipped as a god apart from man, but as the inner flame of divine intelligence that illuminates all creation. The golden light of Ra was said to flow through every being, awakening the codes of life, vitality, and manifestation within the Ka, the energetic double of the human body. Every Egyptian initiate learned that the secret to abundance was not labor, but resonance. By aligning the Ka energy body and the Be soul with the vibration of the Hu divine breath, one entered the current of universal creation. Through this alignment, the light body became a receiver and transmitter of golden consciousness, harmonizing with the prosperity code that once thrived in Atlantis. The temples of Thoth preserved the formula of energy transmutation, sacred breathing techniques, vowel resonances, and geometric postures that activated the DNA, reawakening the latent crystalline codes of divine order. To the priests, every inhale was an invocation, and every exhale a command to the quantum field. They believed that each cell could remember its solar origin and through memory restore its vibrational perfection. The pyramids were not tombs, they were frequency amplifiers. Built upon the intersections of telluric currents, they captured cosmic energy and directed it through resonance chambers to refine the human electromagnetic field. Inside, initiates would lie in golden sarcophagi not to die but to transmute, to merge the human and divine frequencies into one coherent waveform. The goal was not ascension away from matter, but illumination within it, a return to golden consciousness. The priests of Isis carried this further. They taught that abundance was feminine in nature. It flows. It receives, it nourishes. To block the flow was to deny life itself. Through devotion, breath, and vibration, they opened the heart as the chalice of the sun, allowing the currents of prosperity and love to flow simultaneously through the being. This union of Ra's solar light and Isis's receptive current birthed what the ancients called vibrational immortality, the awareness that energy never dies, it only transforms. Thus Egypt became the bridge, the resurrection of Atlantean wisdom in physical form. Its temples were laboratories of spiritual physics, its chants equations of divine resonance, and within every initiate, the same truth echoed through eternity. You are the gold you seek. You are the sun remembering itself through form. To embody this is to understand the essence of Egyptian alchemy, that every thought is a command to light, every emotion a sculpture of energy, and every breath a bridge between the finite and the infinite. The Golden Age was never in the past. It is a frequency still vibrating in the human heart. The same light of Ra that built the pyramids still burns within your chest, waiting to be remembered, to be breathed into form, to be lived. Chapter 3. The Magnetic Law of Ra. In the heart of every civilization that remembered the Golden Code, there was one constant source, the sun. To the Atlanteans and later to the Egyptians, the sun was not a burning sphere in the sky. It was Ra, the living symbol of divine intelligence, the visible heart of the universal law of prosperity. Ra was the cosmic reminder that creation begins with emission, not with desire, but with radiant generosity. They taught that the sun never asks, never withholds, never seeks. It simply shines, and in that eternal act of giving light, all life flourishes. This, they said, is the magnetic law of Ra. You attract by radiating. You receive by transmitting. The solar consciousness of Ra was the foundation of Egyptian alchemy. It revealed that abundance is not generated by taking from the field, but by harmonizing with the field through coherent emission. When your light body vibrates in generosity, gratitude, and creative flow, it begins to mirror the radiant nature of the sun itself. The result is inevitable. Your reality reorganizes to sustain your light. In the temples of Heliopolis, initiates would stand beneath shafts of sunlight, chanting the sacred tones of the solar current. Each tone activated a filament of DNA, awakening memories of Atlantean resonance and expanding the body's magnetic field. They believed that every human heart was a miniature sun, a radiant center capable of projecting light into the quantum field and bending matter through vibration. The priests of Ra spoke of energy symmetry. Whatever you withhold, you block. Whatever you radiate, you multiply. To emit light without expectation was to align with the golden frequency of prosperity, the current that governs both spiritual power and material manifestation. They taught three principles known as the solar keys of Ra. Vibration over desire. The universe does not respond to need. It responds to coherence. When your emotional field matches the vibration of abundance, the energy of wealth naturally converges around you. Emission over accumulation. True prosperity flows from the act of giving. The more light you transmit, through creativity, kindness, or purpose, the more the magnetic field around you expands. Illumination over control. To force reality is to move in darkness. To illuminate it is to let the divine intelligence of the sun rearrange everything in your favor. In Atlantean science, the sun was not external, it was internal. They taught that the human soul contains a fragment of Ra's original flame, a nucleus of pure cosmic energy vibrating at the frequency of creation itself. When this inner sun awakens, it begins to pull reality into orbit, effortlessly, magnetically, majestically. This is the true manifestation, the alignment of inner radiance with universal law. The pyramids, aligned with the solar grid, were built as mirrors of this cosmic principle. Their golden caps once reflected sunlight into the heavens, symbolizing the eternal exchange between giving and receiving, Earth offering her light back to the stars. And within each initiate, that same geometry unfolded, the heart as the apex, the spine as the conduit, the light as the offering. To live by the magnetic law of Ra is to embody the rhythm of the universe itself. It is to understand that wealth, love, and vitality are not separate forces. They are harmonics of the same solar frequency. When you emit light, the quantum field recognizes your coherence. When you give without fear, your magnetic signature expands. And when your energy matches the vibration of the sun, constant, radiant, and unwavering, the universe cannot help but respond, because the universe does not reward effort. It mirrors frequency. Be the light that gives, and abundance will orbit around you forever. Chapter 4. The Hidden Current of Isis. If Ra was the radiant giver of light, Isis was the silent river that carried it through all creation. She was not the sun. She was its reflection upon the waters, the divine feminine current that turns light into life. Where Ra radiates, Isis receives. Where Ra illuminates, Isis embodies. Together, they form the eternal dance that sustains the prosperity code of the universe, the sacred rhythm of giving and receiving, expansion and flow. In Egyptian mystery schools, the initiates learned that prosperity could not exist without this feminine principle. They called it the hidden current of Isis, the golden tide that moves beneath the visible world. It is the pulse of receptivity, the breath between intention and manifestation, the moment when divine intelligence gathers energy before it becomes form. To the Atlantean descendants, Isis represented the vibrational womb of the cosmos, the field in which all potential waits to be awakened. When the heart softens into trust, when the body releases resistance, the magnetic field opens to receive the flow of golden light that Ra emits eternally. This is why the masters taught Ndi, the sun gives, but it is the moon that makes things grow. They believed that true vibrational wealth required both forces, the solar and the lunar, the active and the receptive. The masculine and the feminine energies harmonized within the light body. When the masculine seeks without balance, energy burns out. When the feminine receives without structure, it dissipates. But when they unite, manifestation becomes effortless. The priestesses of Isis practiced sacred breathwork and lunar meditation, aligning their bodies with the frequency of the Nile and the tides of the moon. They understood that the human being is a microcosm of the cosmos, that abundance flows in cycles, not lines. Their rituals were not about asking, they were about allowing. They became vessels, channels for divine energy. Merging the golden frequency of Ra with the silver light of the moon, creating what they called the current of eternal renewal. This current was not symbolic, it was palpable. They felt it as a cool vibration rising from the base of the spine, circulating through the heart, and radiating from the crown like waves of starlight. Modern science would call it the movement of electromagnetic energy. The ancients called it the breath of Isis, the flow of cosmic abundance through the human temple. In this teaching, to receive was not weakness, it was mastery. It was the act of becoming magnetically aligned with the universe's natural law. To resist the flow was to separate from source. To surrender to it was to embody divine harmony. Through this surrender, the DNA reactivated its dormant codes, opening the body to frequencies of regeneration, creativity, and prosperity. The golden energy of the sun needed the sacred feminine to bring it into form. Every Egyptian goddess carried this vibration: Hathor's joy, Maat's balance, Isis's devotion, each a reflection of the feminine mystery, that receiving is an act of power, not passivity. They knew that abundance is a breathing field. It expands and contracts with your willingness to trust. To awaken the hidden current of Isis is to remember that prosperity is not forced, it flows. It moves through you when you are still enough to feel it. When your mind is silent, when your energy is soft. The universe rushes in to fill that space with light, because the energy of abundance is feminine by nature. It flows to the open heart. It nurtures the coherent soul, and it multiplies wherever gratitude is allowed to live. The gold you seek has always been flowing beneath your own breath. Isis teaches not how to reach it, but how to stop resisting the current that already carries you home. Chapter 5. The Emerald Breath of Thoth. When the world fell into silence after the collapse of Atlantis, there remained one voice that never faded, the voice of Thoth. Known as the architect of divine knowledge and guardian of the Emerald Tablets, Thoth carried within his breath the science of creation itself. He taught that sound is not merely heard, it is geometry in motion, a frequency that shapes matter and summons worlds into being. In the temples of Hermopolis and Saqqara, initiates were taught the emerald breath, a sacred rhythm of inhalation, vibration, and exhalation that could awaken the prosperity code within human DNA. They learned that every word, every tone, every breath is a command to the quantum field. To speak is to create. To breathe consciously is to mold light into form. Thoth's teachings bridged the wisdom of Atlantis with the precision of Egyptian alchemy. He revealed that the universe itself is a living symphony, an orchestra of vibration, with each soul as a unique note in the harmony of creation. When one's tone falls into coherence, life begins to sing back. This was his first law. As you vibrate, the cosmos responds. The emerald light symbolized not color, but consciousness, the green flame of balance between spirit and matter. It represented the heart frequency, the central generator of the light body. By breathing emerald light through the spine and into the heart, initiates could dissolve fear, scarcity, and doubt, energies that distort the signal of manifestation. Once cleared, the divine intelligence of the universe could flow freely, restoring harmony between thought, emotion, and form. Thoth's priests spoke of three sacred instruments: breath, word, and will. Together they formed the triad of creation. Breath awakens the current, the invisible bridge between dimensions. Word gives shape, the encoded vibration that tells energy what to become. Will anchors it into reality, the unwavering presence that holds the pattern until it manifests. Through these, a human could replicate the very process by which the cosmos was born. This was not metaphor, it was spiritual physics. Every breath was a pulse of creation, every word a geometrical command, every thought a wave moving through the quantum field. When these three forces harmonized, manifestation was instantaneous. In Atlantean temples, the masters of sound would stand before crystalline walls that shimmered with golden resonance. As they chanted the name of Hu, the universal tone of life, the walls would vibrate, emitting radiant frequencies that healed the body and restructured the DNA. This was how vibration became medicine, and sound became gold. Thoth later condensed this entire system into one statement inscribed in the emerald tablets. To speak in alignment with truth is to command the laws of the universe. He called this the emerald breath, because it was both green light, the color of life, and living wisdom, the essence of consciousness remembering itself. The one who mastered this breath could summon peace, abundance, vitality, and revelation through the power of resonance. It was not magic. It was mathematics of the soul. Modern minds speak of affirmations, but Thoth spoke of frequency coherence. He taught that if your words carry doubt, they divide the signal. If your breath carries fear, it fractures the current. Only when breath, thought, and feeling move as one, pure, focused, and luminous, does the universe respond with precision. The priests called this the science of divine utterance, because creation listens not to the volume of your voice, but to the vibration of your coherence. The emerald breath was and still is the forgotten key of manifestation, the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the meeting point between intention and energy, the ancient golden frequency reborn as sound. When you breathe consciously, you awaken memory. When you speak with light, you activate creation. When you unite breath and word with presence, you become the voice of the cosmos itself. Every inhale is creation entering you. Every exhale is creation obeying you. Thoth whispered this secret across eternity. The wealth you seek begins in the breath you ignore. Chapter 6. The Weighing of the Heart. In the sacred halls of Egypt, there is a chamber known not to time but to eternity, the Hall of Ma'at, where every soul stands before the scales of truth. Here, the heart is weighed against a single feather, not to judge, but to measure vibration. The ancient priests taught that the heart is not a metaphor for emotion. It is the central sun of the human field, the generator of the golden frequency that determines the reality around you. Every thought, every breath, every act leaves a resonance in this field, a note in the symphony of your being. When that song is light, the universe sings with you. When it is heavy, the flow of abundance dims and distorts. This is the weighing of the heart, the most sacred of all initiations, the moment when one must ask, is my vibration lighter than my desires? The Egyptians knew that prosperity could not be forced upon a chaotic field. It had to be received by coherence, and coherence is born only when the heart is free, free of resentment, guilt, fear, and the hidden shadows that make the soul forget its luminosity. In the language of the ancients, purity meant resonance, and forgiveness meant frequency correction. They taught that the law of abundance responds to the lightness of the heart, not to effort, not to merit, but to vibration. The lighter your field, the stronger your magnetism. Because the universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your weight. The priests of Thoth understood this as spiritual physics. Every emotion, every belief adds density or luminosity to the light body. When energy stagnates, it hardens, trapping golden current inside the cells. When emotion is transmuted through awareness, it releases, turning lead into gold, darkness into clarity, chaos into order. This is the true alchemy of the heart, the unseen laboratory where the soul becomes light enough to rise. The feather of Ma'at symbolized more than justice. It was the calibration of divine intelligence itself. the universal equilibrium that maintains harmony between all things. To align with Ma'at was to enter the prosperity code, a state where thoughts, emotions, and actions emit one unified frequency of integrity and grace. The ancients said that abundance, health, and love could not remain in a heart out of tune with its own truth. That is why every Egyptian initiation began with purification, not as penance, but as preparation. They cleansed the mind of chaos, the body of stagnation, the soul of illusion, because only the clear vessel can conduct golden light. Only the weightless heart can open the quantum gate to divine flow. The masters called this process vibrational redemption, the return of the soul to its natural harmony with the universal law. In this state, the energy of the higher self flows unobstructed, and prosperity no longer depends on effort. It becomes inevitable, a reflection of inner symmetry. When your heart becomes as light as the feather, the universe entrusts you with its treasures. Because you no longer grasp, you glow. You no longer demand, and you radiate. You no longer seek to take, you become the source. The weighing of the heart was not a myth. It was a map of the energetic reality governing creation. A reminder that the gate to vibrational wealth is not in the world. It is within the rhythm of your pulse, the silence between your breaths, the still point where divine intelligence measures truth by light. The gold you seek cannot coexist with heaviness. To remember abundance, you must first remember how to be light. Chapter 7. The Law of Reflection. In the mystery schools of Atlantis and Egypt, the adepts were taught one principle so powerful that it was whispered only in initiation chambers. Reality is not happening to you. It is happening from you. This was known as the law of reflection, a universal law as old as creation itself. The quantum field does not judge, it mirrors. It has no preference, only precision. Whatever frequency you emit, it reflects without distortion, like sunlight upon water, like gold upon gold. To the priests of Thoth, this was the sacred key to manifestation. The outer world was never the cause. It was always the consequence, the visible projection of the vibration sustained within the light body. What you see is not separate from what you are. The temple, the body, the field, the cosmos, all are mirrors in infinite dialogue, reflecting the same divine intelligence through different lenses of density. The ancients taught, the eye sees only what the heart allows. When the heart is heavy, the mirror clouds. When it is light, the reflection shines. Thus, every distortion in your life is not punishment. It is feedback. Every delay, every obstacle, every silence from the universe is simply a request for frequency correction. The Atlanteans and Egyptians used this law with mathematical precision. They practiced energy coherence, knowing that when emotion and thought vibrate in contradiction, the field reflects chaos. But when they align, when gratitude, clarity, and focus merge into one tone, the prosperity code activates automatically. Reality must echo harmony. This is not philosophy. It is energetic geometry. The mirror of creation is exact. If you emit fear, it will reflect scarcity. If you emit light, it will reflect opportunity. If you vibrate as the source of abundance, the world becomes your river of gold. Because the law of reflection does not create, it amplifies. It is the universal law of resonance made visible. In the temples of Luxor and Hermopolis, initiates would meditate before pools of still water, illuminated by torches of golden flame. They watched the surface until it became calm enough to mirror their own gaze. Then, through that reflection, they met themselves. It was a ritual of remembrance, to see one's own light in the mirror of matter, to recognize that the golden frequency outside is the same frequency within. Modern science now calls this the observer effect, but the ancients called it divine responsibility. the awareness that the world cannot show you what you deny in yourself. If you wish to see beauty, become its vibration. If you wish to see abundance, emanate gratitude. If you wish to see peace, still your mind, because the mirror obeys only coherence. The masters of Thoth summarized it simply: gold appears where gold is remembered. To remember your inner gold is to command the field of creation. To forget it is to wander in reflection, mistaking illusion for truth. But when you awaken, when you recognize yourself as both the mirror and the light, the game ends. Reality no longer reacts. It responds. It becomes an ally, a living consciousness rearranging itself around your radiance. This is the secret of vibrational wealth, that prosperity is not a reward, but a reflection. Your world is the mirror of your frequency, and every moment it whispers the same invitation. Polish the mirror, not the image. To understand the law of reflection is to remember that the outer gold is only the echo of the inner sun. And once you learn to see from that awareness, the universe itself becomes your temple, endless mirrors reflecting the golden frequency of your being, because you were never seeking abundance. You were seeking the reflection of your own light, and it was waiting in everything you see. Chapter 8. The Temple of Manifestation. The Atlanteans said that before temples were built of stone, they were built of light. And the Egyptians, inheriting this truth, declared, "The human body is the true temple of the gods." Every chamber of the pyramid mirrored the anatomy of the initiate. Every wall of gold, every symbol of sacred geometry, represented a process already alive within the human field. The ancients knew that the body is not a vessel. It is a laboratory of manifestation, a living architecture where divine intelligence experiments with matter. Within this temple of manifestation, every organ is an instrument, every breath a ritual, every emotion a wave of frequency shaping reality through vibration. The heart emits the golden frequency that magnetizes abundance. The brain decodes divine signal into intention. The spine, the sacred pillar, channels the light of Ra, the solar current of manifestation that travels upward like liquid fire through the light body. The priests of Thoth taught that the body was designed as a multidimensional device, half biological, half luminous, a bridge between the visible and the invisible. When its geometry is aligned through breath, posture, and coherent thought, it becomes an antenna for the quantum field, capable of attracting energy and reorganizing matter. This was not belief, it was technology. Spiritual technology. In their initiations, the adepts of Atlantis and Egypt would lie inside golden sarcophagi not to die, but to remember. Inside the darkness, the heartbeat became thunder, the breath lightning, the silence infinite. As they inhaled the golden light, they activated the dormant DNA codes that govern manifestation, patterns of divine order embedded in every cell. When those codes awakened, their energy field expanded like a star being born. They became radiant, self-luminous, we creators within the universal law. The temple of manifestation is not a place you visit. It is the space you become when your energy, emotion, and awareness merge as one. It is the living realization that creation begins inside your electromagnetic field, and your outer world is the sculpture carved by that inner current. Each thought sends geometry into the quantum field. Each breath fuels the pattern. Each feeling stabilizes the vibration. This is the process by which gold, the symbol of divine perfection, condenses from energy into form. The priests called this process chem-unk, to live through alchemy. To breathe consciously was to invoke Ra's fire. To focus was to engrave light into matter. To feel gratitude was to anchor heaven upon earth. Through this, the human temple became the axis of creation, where the energy of abundance flowed endlessly from source to soul and back again. The masters of Thoth often said, "Your bones are the pillars of the temple, your breath its prayer, your heart its altar." When the body remembers this sacred function, life ceases to be random. Synchronicity replaces struggle. The light body hums in harmony with the golden frequency, and the prosperity code reawakens naturally, not as something external, but as the organic result of alignment. In truth, you were never meant to seek manifestation. You were meant to become it. Because every cell of your body is already made of cosmic dust, every breath is powered by the solar current, and every heartbeat is the echo of the creator pulse. You are the temple. You are the priest. You are the gold becoming form. To awaken the temple of manifestation is to remember what the ancients always knew, that the architecture of the divine was never outside of you. It was written in your blood, breath, and bones, the eternal design of a being born not to worship creation, but to create consciously within it. Chapter 9. The Return of the Golden Field. They said the Golden Age ended long ago, but gold, my friend, does not end. It only waits for vibration to rise enough to see it again. Across the invisible horizon of the human mind, something ancient is stirring. A pulse, soft, magnetic, eternal, the heartbeat of the golden field returning. It is not a myth. It is the same field that once surrounded Atlantis, the same light that illuminated Egypt, the same frequency that still hums in your blood. The golden field is not a place in space. It is a state of coherence in consciousness. It is the field of divine intelligence, where matter and spirit breathe together, where manifestation becomes natural, and where abundance ceases to be an effort and becomes an emanation. It is the prosperity code fully awakened, the remembrance that light itself is wealth. In the temples of Ra, it was said that the golden field was the aura of the gods, an electromagnetic halo of pure harmony that surrounded every enlightened being. But the secret the priests never wrote was that this same field exists within every human soul. Each cell of the body is a mirror of the sun. Each strand of DNA carries the echo of Ra's fire, the ability to translate light into life. The fall of Atlantis and the decline of ancient Egypt were not the end of this knowledge. They were the beginning of its dormancy. Humanity entered the age of forgetting, descending into density, losing the sensitivity to perceive its own luminosity. But cycles turn, and now the spiral ascends once more. You feel it, don't you? The vibration quickening, the world reorganizing, the invisible light behind your eyes remembering itself. This is the return of the golden field, the moment when the inner sun awakens inside millions of souls at once. It begins with awareness, expands through breath, and solidifies through coherence. As hearts open, as energy realigns, the collective light body of humanity reignites, connecting to the crystalline grid of the earth, the ancient network through which Atlantean and Egyptian frequencies once flowed freely. Now that current is rising again. Golden streams of intelligence moving through dreams, synchronicities, inspirations, and the magnetic pull toward higher living. The masters of Thoth foresaw this age. They said there would come a time when humanity would awaken not through temples, but through remembrance, when the golden frequency would no longer belong to a priesthood, but to the collective soul of mankind. And that time is now. The golden field is reactivating in every act of love, every breath of awareness, every moment of gratitude. It returns through vibration, not through ideology. It answers resonance, not hierarchy. And its first sign is coherence, the unmistakable feeling of peace that begins to radiate through your chest as you align with your own truth. The energy of abundance that once seemed distant becomes tangible again. Opportunities multiply, synchronicities converge, time bends. Because in the golden field everything responds to light, and you are that light remembering itself. The outer world brightens only when the inner world shines. As the field strengthens, the universal law of reflection and manifestation fuses into one movement. Every thought becomes form with greater speed. Every emotion shapes reality with greater clarity. That is why this age demands responsibility, because power returns where memory awakens. The golden consciousness is not coming from above. It is rising from within and from your spine, your breath, your presence. You are not being saved. You are being activated. The ancients called this the second dawn of Ra, a moment when humanity would remember itself as the sun made flesh, each being a fractal of the original light that spoke worlds into being. And when that remembrance becomes collective, the golden field will no longer be a vision of the past. It will be the living atmosphere of the new earth. The gold never left. It only waited for you to remember it was always your own light. Final activation, the golden light within. Close your eyes. The journey through Atlantis and Egypt was never about history. It was about memory. The temples, the symbols, the gods, they were all mirrors, reflections of something far older than civilization, the golden light within you. You are not walking toward the light. You are becoming it. The golden frequency that once filled the oceans of Atlantis, the solar current that illuminated the pyramids of Egypt, and the emerald wisdom of Thoth, they are not gone. They are vibrating now in the rhythm of your breath, in the resonance of your heart, in the geometry of your soul. Each inhale awakens the light body, each exhale expands the quantum field around you. You are remembering the prosperity code, the truth that abundance, vitality, and peace were never things to earn. They were always your natural frequency. As you breathe, visualize a sphere of golden light expanding from your chest. It grows with every heartbeat, glowing through your skin, filling the room, touching the air until the entire world feels its warmth. This is Ra, awakening in you, the sun within flesh, the divine current that gives, not asks, that radiates, not fears, that manifests, not waits. Now, let the breath descend down the spine into the roots, into the earth, where the hidden current of Isis rises to meet it, the feminine river of gold that flows upward, completing the circuit of creation and receptivity, heaven and matter, light and life. The two currents merge within your heart. Masculine and feminine, sun and moon, Ra and Isis, one luminous flame spiraling in sacred union. This is the moment when the golden field within you ignites. Your DNA remembers. Your cells vibrate in coherence. Your aura becomes a living sun. The energy of abundance begins to orbit you like light around a star. You are no longer separate from the universe. You are its center. The divine intelligence that governs galaxies is breathing through you now as you repeat silently within. I am the light of Ra. I am the current of Isis. I am the voice of Thoth. I am the living temple of abundance. Feel the truth in those words. They are not affirmations, they are activations. Each syllable awakens a deeper layer of the golden frequency encoded in your soul. You are the temple of manifestation. The universe moves through your coherence. Every heartbeat sends golden ripples through the quantum field, calling forth opportunities, synchronicities, and blessings perfectly matched to your vibration. This is not imagination. It is remembrance. You are remembering the ancient covenant between humanity and light, that you were never meant to seek power, but to become power embodied. The golden light is awake in you now. It shines behind your eyes. It breathes through your words. It walks with you into every moment that follows. Wherever you go, gold follows. Whatever you touch, light responds. Whatever you speak, creation listens, because you are no longer separate from the source. You are its expression, radiant, eternal, infinite. Remember this truth: the gold was never metal, it was you.